Victor, for inviting me to be a new voice and new part of the Spring Road Conference conversation. I realize I'm second to lunch, so thank you for your attention. Anyway, I'm Stephanie Campbell with Theater League, and we present in 8 markets across the U.S. And I'm the Director of Season Marketing, so I'm in charge of everything we do to sell a season ticket, and we have a little over 30,000 season ticket holders. Today I want to talk to you about spending wisely, using data and basic functions in Excel to make informed decisions based on your cost versus your spend analysis. Now, does this count in my 20? Because I already started. Well, we'll just pause on that bit. Thanks, Victor, for this lovely format. In marketing, it's really easy to fall in a rut of doing the same things you've always done. But being in 8 markets, we have the advantage of seeing that not everything that works in every market works for every season or every show. And this is why it's so crucial to track what you do, so you can stop wasting your time and your money on things that don't work. Now, we track everything we do to sell a season ticket in one document allocated per market. We call this document a circ plan. Now, in 2008, when I started 5 years ago, this is what that document looked like. We tracked the date, the effort, the number of people that effort was disseminated to, and attributed a certain amount of tickets sold to that effort. Now, in 2003, this is what that document looks like. As you can see, and I don't expect you to be able to read this, we've really broadened the scope of what we're tracking and what we're looking at. We track the status of each initiative, the number of tickets sold, the estimate ticket gross, projected sales, the budget, and of course the cost per sales benchmark. Now, in order for tracking to work, it has to be routine and something you stay on top of on a daily basis. We're all incredibly busy people, so it's very important the tracking mechanism you use is simple, because when you're busy is when you make mistakes, and those can be costly. And speaking of being busy, it's not always necessary to track absolutely every single thing you do. We all know the ROI of an email is great, and who doesn't want an email of 400,000%? But let your budget dictate what you are looking at and the most important things to track. For example, at Theater League for season, we tend to spend a good portion of our budget on our print and our direct mail. So step 1, how to track basics. Establish a cost per sale benchmark. For example, at Theater League, we don't like to spend more than 30 to 32 cents to make $1. So say we spend $1,000. We're looking for a sales return of no less than $3,300. Now, although this formula doesn't include everything, like your overhead, the talent, unions, it's meant to serve as a jumping off point. So here's an example. This is a half-page ad we ran. We ran it in the Major Daily. It cost us about $5,800, and the ad promoted priority new season ticket memberships that were on sale concurrently with our renewal campaign. Now, because it was the breaking ad, we were especially conscientious of how it would return. Now, come Monday afternoon, I'm going to look at 2 key numbers. 1, I'm going to determine an approximate constant for Monday sales, how many tickets we sell on a standard Monday. That's the top and the bottom. And then I'll look at the variable. How many more tickets than the constant did we sell the Monday after the ad ran? In this instance, we sold 79 more tickets than a standard Monday. So here's what happened. Now remember, our cost per sale benchmark is 30 cents. With a spend of around $5,800, our goal was to gross greater than $19,000 on the ad. What we actually sold was 79 more tickets and $23,700 in sales approx. So we spent about $0.25 to make $1. But let's pretend this happened. Say the net of the variable and the constant was 20 tickets, or about $6,000 in sales. That would be about 97 cents to make $1, and not the best use of our marketing staff, budget, time. So what do you do when you see that kind of return on something? Well, fancy that. This is the most important part of tracking. Unfortunately for us numbers-oriented people, tracking doesn't magically fix everything. You need to let the numbers lead you to an educated decision. So for print ads, what can you do? You can change the call to action, the overall messaging of the ad, change the size or the placement of the ad, reduce the cost of the ad by changing the size. It's only up for 20 seconds, folks. Make sure you're communicating your needs to the press rep. Are you leveraging the best assets the press rep has to offer? If you've tried all these things, you can cut the ad, move the budget to something that you track that had a better return. Now, let's look at something just a little more complex, direct mail, which for us is often the biggest portion of our season budget, as I'm sure many of you see as well. Now, we all love making a big, beautiful brochure and spending a ton of time on it, but how much time are you spending on who that brochure is being sent to? Say you're mailing to your theater's internal comprehensive list. Now, both of these events took place at your theater, but not all audiences look alike, and while Bernadette Peters' concert attendees may be qualified leads, Godsmack ticket buyers probably aren't. Now, you wouldn't lump these two groups of people together, so why are you tracking them with 1% return for a massive list? Now, who the heck has the time to do all this? The people you hire. Always get bids from multiple vendors. Never work with the same vendor just because you have a fabulous relationship. Get other voices heard. Make the data matchback analysis part of your vendor selection from the moment you request the first bid on your project, and get it in writing, and hold the mailhouse accountable for doing their job. As long as you're sure this extra step is in the initial agreement, it won't cost you any extra money. People will go the extra mile to get your business. Now, first you send the mailhouse your mailing list as separate files. Then after the mailing, you send them the list of the people who purchased. The vendor will provide you with a list of matches, but you're the one who needs to figure out if you made money or lost money on that list, and if you made your cost per sale benchmark. So what I recommend you do is make an ROI key. Now, in this example, I calculated our desired return percentage to be 0.12%. while a return of 0.04% or less indicated we lost money. Now, return to the data you got back from the mailhouse and reference that key you just made. In this example, we were at or above our desired return for our former subscribers, our recent single ticket buyers, and a couple of our traded lists. But we learned not to mail again to our older, more antiquated single ticket buyer list or the Symphony traded list. And now for the recurring slide of the Pecha 2013. Thanks again for letting us know that happened. Some things like billboards and radio and TV can be harder to track. This is where you need to trust your expertise and the experience behind you and make sure your budget is in proportion. What works sometimes may not work the next time, so test and track instead of guessing, and let the numbers lead you to a more educated decision next time. Thank you so much.